Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today's public hearing is now in session. Today is Monday, March 17th, 2025, and the time is 6:45 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swink. Here. Schaefer.
Excused.
Abens.
Here.
Winkle.
Excused.
Awig.
Here.
DeVries.
Here.
Jacobs.
Here.
Mayor. Here. Assistant Clerk Counsel.
All right, this public hearing was called to allow an opportunity for the public to speak regarding proposed agricultural district request. Clerk, if you could please read the information for the applicant.
Resolution 2025-49, a resolution to approve the application made by Margaret E. Hupta and
That's the same one.
Resolution 2025-41, a resolution to approve the application made by Richard Stash to have certain land owned by them designated as being located within an agricultural district, parcel number 07-00-024-102-013, total acres 25-0.09.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite members of the general public to address City Council regarding the Stash application. If there's anybody who wishes to speak this evening, we ask you to speak from the podium, and you will be allowed up to 3 minutes. Okay, seeing none, and with no other business on the agenda, the hearing is adjourned. Thank you.
Yes. And then April 7th will be the first public hearing.
That's our next meeting?
Yes.
What time is that, 6:45?
Yes.
Because I think I'm going to send the tent thing to committee.
Okay.
So we may need to schedule that at like 6:15 on that day, if everybody can make it.
Okay. So you want me to do like 6, contact everybody else?
What do you mean?
6:15, like to meet?
Yeah, that's probably, I mean, on the 7th.
Okay, on the 7th, okay.
He lives in Ward 2. Lives where, you know where Aspen Street is? It's off of,
Oh, it's going north there,
yeah, so you know where, Root Road crosses over Center Ridge to Ridgeville?
Yeah.
You follow that all the way down north to like near Liberty Elementary, and Aspen Street is down there. So his property is kind of, it abuts the ditch that's between Liberty Elementary. Anyway, it sounds like the city came through and cleared out a bunch of trees along the ditch, which they've been doing all over the city. He wasn't real happy about that, but I guess they also installed a fence. There was a fence that's supposed to be between Liberty and that ditch,
Okay.
and he's not happy with the fence that they put in. They just put in some cheap kind of wireless fence, and I guess there's kids that keep going back and forth, and the kids have just, well, I guess the first time they put in a snow fence, and the kids came through and cut the snow fence so they could get through, and then they came back and they put in a metal, almost looks like chicken wire went in the fence, and they've just stepped on that and crushed it down so they could get in. It was only about 3 feet high. So he's not real happy with the fact that they cut down all the trees or the fence that they put in place. So he's just curious if they're going to come back and put in something more permanent, or what the intention for the city is. Yeah, he said he didn't come to speak to all of us. He just wanted to hear. He wanted to speak to Eric, and Eric's not here, but I guess Jones already talked to him once and said, oh yeah, we'll get a fence in for you. And then that did respond, and I guess Collins had been getting hold of her too to ask.
And the Scots, we're the black shirts who put down the Irish.
Yeah. Like you said, it's nice of them to let us know, especially for legislation come forward.
I'm sorry, April meeting? Republican Club meeting?
Yes.
Did you get my email?
I don't think I did.
Yeah.
No, I've been checking them lately too.
Yeah, did the agenda come out Thursday last week or was it Friday? Did our agenda come out Thursday last week? But if you had seen something that said Tim's on vacation, you might have looked at it sooner and had some questions.
No, I figured April was the day when we could have
Yeah.
I got the right regular meeting agenda.
Okay.
So we don't have to rehash old stuff.
Yes. I was like, I read Margaret. I'm like, yes, Margaret, you're on April 7th. That's wrong. Yes. And I didn't even tell them that I didn't have class or anything.
Yeah.
Well, when he first called me, or was texting me on Sunday, I said, well, luckily Fiji told me that she was going to be there. So if you don't make it home, I think we're covered.
So
But,
what would we have done? Say,
We had to call
Tina
Tina.
would have.
oh, Tina would have.
Plan C.
The plus thing is we're both close together, so that's a plus. She's an Avon Lake, so if anything, if it's a last minute,
You're in Oberlin, aren't you?
I'm close too. We're the same
Real
distance.
close.
With the freeway, it's not bad. I
Yeah.
guess.
It's a 15-minute drive.
So this particular
You just get rid of the
email account,
interstate
I only
and then
use
get
for
on.
my work.
You just, what is it, route 10 or no?
Yeah, which is like, it turns out 480.
Yeah, so it's like where the JBS is or something down there.
But I don't go all the way by JBS. I get off the exit before JBS.
I don't.
It's actually the last exit before you get on,
Right, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
which is Lorraine Road, 511.
Yeah, my dad just sent me this little business. Community air conditioning or something. And it was across from the building, the original building who's in the same line. I think it's across from over on hospital.
Okay, I see.
So we lived in Louisville at the time, so he used to commute to Oberlin. And the freeway wasn't there either.
Oh, it was. Oh, wow.
So it wasn't bad.
Because Vermilion's in trouble.
I don't know how he went with that.
But the point is Vermilion is neglected.
It's crazy. My son goes to school in LaGrange, so it works out. So I think Oberlin, drop him off. My mother-in-law stays off of LaGrange exit, so it works out because she has the kids and get them in, and then just come here to the next exit. 2 or 3 exits after.
I know, wow.
Busy lady.
Brian's gonna be here tonight, right?
As far as I know.
Otherwise, it'll look kind of sparse up here.
Yeah, years ago, that was part of my territory. Long time ago. 65th or 123rd.
Yeah, that wind.
I'd get in at 7:30 in the morning and get the hell out by 3.
I wore a suit that I always had. It bulged right here. So if anybody
Yep,
was
here he
watching,
comes.
they weren't sure if I was packed. So they listened to them.
Hello. Good. Where's your green?
You know what? I'm a bad Irishman. I don't know if I have green.
You and Christina both came walking in with red on.
Yeah.
I thought it was Valentine's Day.
Unprepared.
Time does go by fast.
It really does. And I have not, we haven't done anything. It's just been working all day.
So you haven't been celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I thought maybe the city should be off on St. Patrick's Day.
Half of the law department was off today, but I was covering for them.
Was the parade downtown today?
Today.
Just today.
I don't know about Chicago. They had said something about activities on Saturday, so I don't know if they had their parade today or if they had on Saturday or that they showed the green water from the river, whatever. Yeah.
I've always thought that that's such an amazing engineering feat how they changed the direction of that river flowing for Chicago. Yeah, that amazed me. Not just for St. Patrick's Day, in general, they have it flowing out of the lake, going that direction, which is crazy to me.
I guess I never knew. I just wonder how long does it stay green? You figure they put all that dye in and it just keeps flowing. So doesn't it just end up
Slowly dissipates somewhere.
You would think by the time the parade was over, it'd all be gone. I mean, I
All
don't
the
know.
fish would be green.
Right.
Green fish fry. Yeah, they did that because I got family that lives in the Chicago area, so this has always been one of the reasons they did that was for the Asian carp that are coming up from the Mississippi.
Oh, really? Oh.
Because if it gets into Lake Erie or any of the Great Lakes,
It wouldn't
gonna-
survive?
Well, no, it's going to destroy the lakes
Oh.
because they're so carnivorous and they eat everything and anything and they just multiply. So this way they're kind of keeping them from coming upstream.
It showed a picture the other day in the paper, I think, of fish. It was in Lorraine somewhere, of all these dead fish. And they said that that's something that is just, it sounded like it happens every year or something, whatever. It was kind of a force of
Hopefully it
nature
wasn't a
that.
spill by French Creek.
Yeah, right. No, it was kind of interesting because it was like, really? Because they were all bunched together and whatever.
Well, it is strange.
Yeah, I don't know. It was in the paper. There's a picture in the paper, I think.
Eric Schaefer came into the branch the other day. He was asking for all his cash. You got anything more than $3,000. He needs a manager's approval, and usually you have to order it.
So it was more than that amount?
Yeah, it was a large amount of cash. They said he was acting so strange, and he said we knew you, and he said he was a councilman. We're like, we didn't believe him. We told them we have to order it.
They didn't know him or whatever.
Yeah, they had no idea. They're like, he said he's a lawyer and that he's a councilman and that he knew you were our boss. And I'm like, yes, he is. Believe it or not, they're like, no. They said we were sure he was a crook or somebody trying to hustle us. So they sent him away and told him he didn't get to come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they said we wanted to clear it with you before we order any cash for him. And I said, yeah, that's right. So, but there was all four of the tellers when I walked in this morning.
Tell
Were
him,
like,
give it to him and tell him to get out of town.
yeah. Oh my God. But they were all four were all so excited when I show up to work today. We gotta tell you something. This guy came in. And they go, no,
That's funny.
he really is a councilman. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah. So,
Huh.
yeah. I apologize, my cologne's a little strong. Sprayed
What's
it on.
that?
I just shaved before I came and my cologne's probably strong.
Oh, I don't even smell it. I don't have a good sniffer. But except for I can't go into candle shops and stuff like that because that really bothers me. I start sneezing.
I can't walk down the aisle in the grocery store that has all those
Yesterday.
Yeah, yeah,
start.
yeah.
They have real sensitive eyes and they start burning. Anyway,
Nope. Time to get started.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The North Ridgeville City Council meeting is now in session. Today is Monday, March 17th, 2025. Please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Father, we gather here with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. We ask for your guidance as we make decisions this evening. Grant us wisdom to lead with compassion, courage, and understanding, and may we strive to be stewards of the trust placed in us. In your name we pray, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swink. Here. Schaefer.
Excused.
Abens.
Here.
Winkle.
Excused.
Awig.
Here.
DeVries.
here.
Jacobs.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Law Director.
Here.
City Engineer. Finance Director. Here. Assistant Clerk of Council.
All right, tonight we first have the City Council public hearing meeting minutes dated March 3rd, 2025. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, the minutes stand approved. And then we also have the regular City Council meeting minutes also dated March 3rd, 2025. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, those minutes stand approved as well. Please note that Council has also received the Civil Service Commission meeting minutes dated February 26th, 2025, the Board of Zoning and Building Appeals meeting minutes dated February 27th, 2025, and the Planning Commission meeting minutes dated March 11th, 2025. That'll bring us to our lobby session. For those who may not be familiar, and as a reminder to those who are, the lobby session is the portion of our meeting in which the public is allowed an opportunity to address City Council as well as the City Administration. Any audience members wishing to speak, we do ask that you speak from the podium, and from the podium only, please. I will ask you to begin by stating your name and address for the record, at which time you will be allowed up to 3 minutes to speak regarding any matters pertaining to the business of City Council or the general affairs of the City of North Ridgeville. And also as a reminder, in the interest of time, the lobby session is not intended to be an interactive question and answer session, but nonetheless, we do welcome and appreciate your input. Depending on the nature of your comments, a council member may follow up with you. At this time, the lobby session is now open. I invite anybody in attendance who would like to address council this evening. All right. I'm seeing some heads shaking no, so at this time, the lobby session is closed. We will move on to administrators' reports. And up first is Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have ordinance number 2025-48, which is tents. We're going to discuss that briefly right here. It is something that the Ohio Building Code has now required us to inspect and permit tents. Interesting decision on their part, but something now that we have to do. And so we're going to ask for the dispensing of the second and third readings to adopt that, given that tents will be used in great numbers in the next couple of months, especially with graduation. There are exemptions for residential use, but there are some other tents that need to be reviewed by our building department and get permitted. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you remember, several months ago, we were honored with the designation of being a Dementia Friends community. And we are going to have an education session at the Senior Center on Thursday, March 20th from 6 to 7 p.m. And the goal of the session is to help you understand how dementia impacts affected individuals and to learn about programs and resources available to you. We have another edition of Coffee and Conversation, not until next month. It is Monday, April 7th at 8:30 here in Council Chambers. And I will be joined by Police Chief Michael Freeman and Fire Chief John Reese to discuss the upcoming levies that'll be on the May ballot. And at this point, I move to go into executive session for the purposes of conferencing with the public body's attorney concerning pending or imminent court action.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Swank to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing those matters just explained by the mayor. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Abens,
Yes.
Awig,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
5 into executive session.
All right.
temporary numbers, I don't have to really, when we had temporary numbers, I didn't really have to put it with my permanent. But since now we only deal with permanent numbers,
Yeah.
it has to be, we just can't table any, let it be a new thing.
Yeah. It has to have an action associated with it.
Unless it was put in committee.
And that's what.
It was put in committee.
Oh.
And then that would be the only way, but
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Push come to shove, if we need legislation later on, we'll just do another one.
Yeah.
Oh, good ideas.
City Hall Housewives,
Mm-hmm.
as they're called.
Mm-hmm.
Sure you know that story.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I still see people and talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff, so it's like, okay. You know, I never played that stupid ass game. I mean, you know, poop where you eat.
Because school superintendent
Oh, that.
got
Yeah.
the lady, she had dementia, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're getting her too.
She's the, yeah, yeah.
Anything's friends with her.
Friends with benefits.
Because it touches feet, you know. I'm like, oh, there's another one right there.
Yeah.
It is across the street.
Well, you know what? I'll give the mayor a hug because I respect him as mayor. But that's it. Respect you as mayor.
I don't even have to tip my hand to him about any stuff that I'm working on.
Yeah, and the withdrawn motion is for like if you already made the motion or you want to remove something that you already put on,
Okay, so it's
basically,
just a striking of it from the agenda.
completely, so it can't be, that number cannot revisit the agenda again.
Oh,
Okay.
I like it done right here.
well, it's like telephone, telegraph and tell everybody. Everybody has a different interpretation of it. How long is this doggone phony show gonna go on now?
Sometimes they're half an hour.
Cause if it's a table, no telling what the auditors will say.
Oh my God, those auditors drive me crazy.
Which I have to send them all the legislations for last year.
Really?
I'm gonna screw up Jeopardy for me. Jeopardy comes on at 7:30, come on.
Cause they check to see if votes were made correctly, done correctly.
Come on, Jeopardy's gonna be on.
Do they ever
I'm
time?
a TV on to Jeopardy.
No, I mean,
Thing on to
it
Jeopardy.
depends on what your minutes look like.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you're not allowed to
Sometimes they
do
might
drink
like
up
butcher a motion, but
Yeah.
I can easily attest to it, so it's easy for me to change a little bit of what they say to make it the correct way.
Okay. Kim does that sometimes. Planning. She'll like jazz it up, whatever they wrote, you know, so does that become the official? Yeah.
Cause that's what they really meant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is what they said. This is what they meant.
Yes.
It's not good. Not good.
And how does that work? So does it get like a blessing of the commissioners and council? Like,
No, they won't have to read it.
okay.
Before they get to the third reading, actually, before they even start all the readings, you can just go ahead and just straight from the agenda
It wasn't meant to be a permanent building.
in its entirety.
Yeah.
And trust me, they don't want it to be.
This way, I could just record it as
Levies passed, so we get.
All you have
strike.
to do is get the fire department to condemn it.
Well,
That's all.
just catch it on fire, it's probably done that on purpose.
I guess that was the benefits of having temporary numbers back then. But I removed temporary numbers because temporary numbers made our meetings go longer. So, and it was just an extra step for no reason.
Yeah, it seems like extra work.
Yeah.
Even with this, it seems
Yeah.
that was extra work.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
And we're like we were the only city that really had temporary numbers. No one
Oh,
really
really?
did temporary.
Nobody else was doing that.
You just make a permanent number.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of a pain in the neck. So
And
And
whatever.
most things obviously go to the end, so.
Yeah, that'd be good for
It's
them.
easy to record too. So
Yeah.
like you're not looking back and forth like what number.
They
Yeah.
wanted to make it the town park, and you were gonna put a.
So that was the whole reason to change, to make it easier on
Yeah.
people when it came to like researching.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
I
like
don't know what they have
you'll
in
have a
school.
temporary
The
number
one
that never
called
went to a permanent number, but then how are you supposed to know
Street
if you don't have a
department, so
good
we're gonna
Yeah.
put it
tracking
on.
mechanism?
Right, right.
Because because it's the.
Talk about tracking.
Yeah.
Our issue earlier,
That's
I
what they
mean,
wanted, they wanted.
it's, you would think it wouldn't be that difficult, that we would have that
You're not gonna
information
make it the
somewhere.
town
Sorry about that.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Swank.
I move to adjourn from executive session and enter city council session.
Second.
All right, everybody, thanks for your patience. The motion was made by Swank and seconded by DeVries to adjourn executive session and return to regular session. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Avens,
Yes.
Agwood,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
5 into regular session.
All right, executive session has now ended, and the council meeting is now back in open session. Mr. Mayor, please continue with your report.
Mr. President, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. In third readings tonight, ordinance 2025-35 for the roadway rehabilitation for Caroline, Luann, and Monica. It has recently been brought to my attention that the county will actually be administering this during construction, and they will be entering into the contract with the prospective contractor. So I'd actually request that we strike this from the agenda because it is no longer necessary.
Okay.
I do want to point out a recent review of this particular project. Our engineering team did some more investigation, and we originally had committed with the county to $140,000 to contribute towards this project. We found that some additional curb replacement and catch basin adjustments will need to be done to provide a more appropriate drainage for the subdivision. Originally, this subdivision was a concrete base, and then several years later, it had an asphalt overlay, and at that time, there was no adjustment of structures, and that just leads to not an ideal situation. You end up having just pooling water around the structures, and I think this would be a good opportunity for us to make that adjustment, just to make it a nice, solid improvement for that subdivision. Engineering also
So that
has
will come under a separate ordinance then?
I don't think it's gonna be necessary.
I don't think it's necessary to, the administration wouldn't be asking council to enter into anything, so you'll see that additional funding request on the next appropriation amendment.
Appropriations, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Engineering also has before you tonight 2 of our annual projects under first readings, the citywide crack seal work and the catch basin rehabilitation project. With the $130,000 that was already appropriated for the catch basins, engineering hopes to address approximately 50 structures with that amount. Work has also begun on the 2 EV stations right here in our parking lot behind the senior center along the tree lawn. You may have noticed that when you came in. One station will have the basic setup with 2 available ports, while the other station will have 1 DC fast charging port. Work is expected to be done within 30 days, and they could potentially be ready to use shortly after that. This asset was made possible with CMAQ funding provided through NOACA. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Director of Finance.
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Okay. Please note that council has also received the March 2025 Water Distribution and EPA report, the September 2024 Fire Department report, and the February 2025 Building Division report.
Just that one? Okay.
And that'll bring us to new business. The North Ridgeville Planning Commission took action on one item at the regular meeting of March 11th, 2025. Clerk, if you could please read the Planning Commission item for Victory Park.
The North Ridgeville Planning Commission took action on the following items at their regular meeting of March 11, 2025. PPZ 2025-0337 Victory Park, 777 Victory Lane, PP permanent parcel number 07-00-003-102-106, owner PMJ Park Holdings, 777 Victory Lane, North Ridgeville, Ohio, 44039. Proposal consists of new turf fields, lighting, and other site improvements. Property zone I-2 Light Industrial District. Planning Commission action approved by a vote of 3-0 with the following conditions. Athletic fields must have minimum 15-foot runout, double gates at each field for emergency access. Note the lighting plan was withdrawn.
And just for clarification, the address is 7777 Victory Lane, 4 sevens.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Abens.
yes, the holding company is putting quite a bit of money into Victory Park. These two fields will be artificial turf, so they'll be able to play rain or shine. I would imagine lightning will stop the play. But also, as it states, the lighting plan was withdrawn for further information, and so I move to adopt.
Second.
The motion was made by Abens and seconded by Swank to approve the Planning Commission's approval of the improvements at Victory Park. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink?
Yes.
Abens?
Yes.
Awig?
Yes.
DeVries?
Yes.
Jacobs?
Yes.
5 to approve.
All right, that'll bring us to recess.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Swank.
move to dispense with recess.
Second.
The motion was made by Swank and seconded by Awig to dispense with recess this evening. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. All right, recess has been dispensed. Before we move on to first readings, I will make a motion to strike 2025-35 from tonight's agenda under third readings based on the comments made earlier by the city engineer.
I'll second it.
So the motion was made by Jacobs and seconded by Awig to strike 2025-35 from tonight's agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink?
Yes.
Abens?
Yes.
Awig?
Yes.
DeVries?
Yes.
Jacobs?
Yes.
5 to strike 2025-35.
All right, under first readings, up first is 2025-48.
Ordinance number 2025-48, an ordinance creating a new chapter 1470, tenths of the North Ridgeville Building and Housing Code.
Okay, 2025-48 will go to Committee of the Whole for further review. 2025-49.
Resolution number 2025-49, a resolution to approve the application made by Margaret E. Haputa and Krosick Catherine to have certain land owned by them designated as being located within an agricultural district.
2025-50.
Ordinance number 2025-50, an ordinance replacing Chapter 1030 Street Trees with new Chapter 1030 Trees and repealing Chapter 1032 Master Tree Plan of the North Ridgeville Streets, Utilities, Public Services Code.
2025-51.
Ordinance number 2025-51, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract according to law and in a manner prescribed by law with the lowest and best bidder for the 2025 crack seal project and other appurtenances.
2025-52.
Ordinance number 2025-52, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract according to law and in a manner prescribed by law with the lowest and best bidder for the 2025 Catch Basin Rehabilitation Project, including other appurtenances.
2025-53.
Ordinance number 2025-53, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville, Ohio, to advertise for bids and negotiate contracts for a 12-month period according to law and in a manner prescribed by law for the purchase of roadway materials to be used by the city of North Ridgeville, Ohio.
2025-54.
2025-54, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to advertise for bids and negotiate a contract according to law and in a manner prescribed by law for the rental and equipment for rental of equipment and related services for road repair and maintenance to be used by the Service Department.
2025-55.
Ordinance number 2025-55, an ordinance providing for the amendment of Chapter 1010, Engineering Permits and Fees in the Streets, Utilities, and Public Services Code.
Okay, we'll move on to second readings, and we have 2025-41.
Resolution 2025-41, a resolution to approve the application made by Richard Stash to have certain land owned by them designated as being located within an agricultural district.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
move to dispense with the third reading.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Swank to dispense with the third reading for 2025-41. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Swank to adopt 2025-41. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink.
Yes.
Abens.
Yes.
Awig.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
5 to adopt, and this resolution becomes 2025-41.
Okay, under third readings, that one has been struck from the agenda, excuse me. And 2025-37.
Resolution number 2025-37, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a delinquent debt collection agreement with the Ohio Attorney General pursuant to RC 131.02 for the collection of delinquent debts owned by the city, to the city.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Swink?
move to adopt.
Second.
It was moved by Swank and seconded by Abens to adopt 2025-37. Are there any comments or questions?
Mr. President, if I can ask through the administration, do we need to have an emergency on this or no?
Okay. This is in relation to collection of debt owed to Mayor's Court. And I believe the agreement allows the Attorney General's office to go after these debts, and essentially their fee is 10% of the debts collected. Okay, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink.
Yes.
Abens.
Yes.
Awig.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
5 to adopt, and this resolution becomes 2025-37.
There will be a public hearing scheduled for Monday, or there is a public hearing scheduled for Monday, April 7th, 2025 at 6:45 p.m. in council chambers. That is for the agricultural district request made for the Haptua Grosick property. And the next regular city council meeting will be held also on Monday, April 7th, 2025 at 7 p.m. here in council chambers. This meeting is adjourned.